everyone, we got another episode of Cooking with Dionne, and what I'm going to do today is make a layered, my version of spinach pie. It's going to be all vegetarian, and what I'm going to do is do things just a little bit different. The bottom is going to have a cauliflower crust. So what I've gotten in my pot right here, already started, is about 3 small heads of cauliflower. You can see that. And I've got it sauteed in olive oil, vegetable oil actually. This is vegetable oil I put in here. And we've got salt, pepper, and a little bit of Mrs. Dash's seasoning, and then some oregano, sage, and some thyme, and some basil is all tossed in here. Sauteed up, sauteed until it's limp, because what I'm going to do is get my handheld blender, blend this up, and put this at the bottom of my Pyrex dish. And this is going to be the bottom of my shepherd's pie. Now usually shepherd's pie you don't have a bottom, but I'm going to do it different. This is Dionne's way. So let me get my handheld mixer. I'm going to blend this in right in the pot. So like I said, this was 3 small heads of cauliflower. I'm going to be putting in there some green onions, some eggplant, onions, some peppers, some mushrooms, and some acorn squash. And then that's going to be my version. I also have in a pot over here, if you can, I'll move it over so you all can see. See? Those are my potatoes that I got going, because that's going to be for the top. Sorry you can't see that, but here, let me move it over so you can see. We'll pick that up. And I got 5 Yukon Gold potatoes in here. I thought I was strong enough to pick it up, but I can't without the help. So 5 potatoes, Yukon Gold. Those are my favorite. They're very, very tasty. So if you see these in the store, make sure you get these. These are some really good potatoes. So I'm going to use this for the crust on top. So those are boiling. And I got my mixer all set up, so I'm going to blend this in the pot. And what it does is it's going to look like mashed potatoes when you get finished with it. So the bottom is going to be cauliflower. Middle part is going to be all sauteed vegetables. And then the top layer is going to be potatoes with cheese. And that's going to be my version of shepherd's pie. So as you can see, this is blended out very nicely. And you got to make sure you get the vegetables pretty soft, so that way you can use this handheld mixer. So that way this will blend it up. It's already seasoned. Also put some garlic paste in here. We give it some extra flavor. And I say it smells good, it smells great. So I'm just blending this all up. And one thing about cauliflower, you just gotta cut that middle part out. And then just pull it all apart. I pulled it all apart in little pieces. And then I just put it in my pot and then sauteed it up. This is all blended up beautifully. I'll show you what that looks like when I get done. Okay. That's done. We're going to take that off of here. Unplug it. Put that off to the side. Let me grab my spatula. Got my spatula? And so we're going to take the excess off of here. There. That's all. That's in the sink. And look at that. See how creamy and smooth that is? And that's all of that cauliflower blended up. So this is about, I would say about 4 cups of cauliflower, those 3 small heads made. And we're gonna pull it up so you can see what it looks like. See, it looks like mashed potatoes. It smells great. So, what I'm doing is just layer it at the bottom of my Pyrex dish. Because the same pot, I'm going to use it to cook the rest of my vegetables in there. So I'm just going to scoop it out and just put it right in that Pyrex dish. Now, some people might want to, if you don't want to use potatoes, you can actually use this as a topping. I'm going to do it different. We're going to make this look like a pie. So there we go. Got a little bit more to go. Then I'm going to spread it out in my Pyrex dish. Get all this out. And I just like experimenting. God gives me these ideas first thing in the morning when I start praying. And then what I got to do is act on them. Because otherwise, if I don't, then I won't remember what he told me. So that's where I get all my recipes from. He gives them to me. God be the glory. So what we're just going to do is just spread this out in a pan. In my Pyrex dish. And what it's doing is it's coating all the sides. There you go. There. All right, spread it out, spread it out, spread it out, spread it out. Okay. Put that over to the side and show you what it looks like. See? All coated. So what I'm going to do is then we'll show you the bottom of it. See? It's all coated. All at the bottom. All filled with the cauliflower that I sauteed in there and just blended it up. So, let's move it out just a little bit more. And that was actually quite easy. Alright, so I'm going to put this to the side because I'm going to work on the other vegetables that I'm going to put in there and put in this. So that's over here. Now, next vegetables I'm going to put in there, I'm going to saute is my eggplant, some peppers, and some onions. So we're going to chop that up real quick. Let me grab an onion out of my basket. And then what I'm going to do is, let me turn my skillet back on. Get my garlic flavored olive oil and put it in there. So that'll be nice and ready for my vegetables. And actually, since I do have the squash sitting here, let me cut the squash up and saute that. So today's menu is going to be a vegetarian shepherd's pie. We're going to knock this out. I think I might just roast these off rather than saute it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick these in the oven and roast off this acorn squash and season that up with some there. Let me slice this one up. And with the acorn squash, I just cut it in half and peeled the skin off with my knife. These, I'm actually going to roast them in the oven so that we can get that extra flavor out. So let me get my skillet out. Love my cast iron skillets, guys. We're going to put that in there. A little bit of butter. And I think I might make a soup out of this. I don't know. I change my mind all the time. So we'll put some butter. This is just a little, 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to put in there with it. And put this over here in mine. Okay. grab this. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. I'm going to stick that in the oven. And then I'm going to let that roast off. This will sit in the oven for about 20 minutes. Put it on. Turn my temperature up. Let's turn this off. We're going to put this at conventional roast, 425. Now my skillet is starting to sizzle. So let's get to work on my eggplant. So I'm going to use one eggplant. Just cut this off. And then you're going to take the skin off of here. I love eggplant's like one of my favorite vegetables. I absolutely love it. Because when you cook it, it gets creamy. And the taste is really, really good. So don't be scared of eggplant. It's a very good vegetable to work with. So we're just going to slice that off. And my skillet's getting nice and sizzling. It's talking to me. It's talking to me. It's like, hey, we're ready. Put some food in there. Gotcha. There you go. There's my compost. All right. The eggplant, I'm just going to cut it right down the middle. Cut it one more time. And then I'm just going to slice it. And then chunk it up. And then throw it in there. There you go. Cut it down the middle. Slice it lengthwise. And then horizontal. Chunk it up. Throw it in a pan. Let me add a little bit more olive oil in there. There we go. Then one thing about eggplant, it is going to soak up whatever you use. So if you use vegetable oil, it's vegetable oil that's in there. When you put the vegetable oil, it's going to soak that right in there. So we're going to use a few pinches of salt. 2. And then, let me get my seasoning out. Throw all that in there. And that's rosemary, thyme, and oregano all together. And we're just going to saute this up. While that is cooking, I'm going to start working on my onions and my peppers. I'm going to put my onion in there. So I got one giant Spanish onion. These are my... I like using these. They got a lot of flavor to them. Just cut that in half. Get the skin off. There you go. Then we go slice this up. Throw that right in the pot. So what I'm doing is just layering the vegetables. As I layer them, we're going to season them up. And just keep adding them in there. So they get real soft. And the colors are going to look pretty too. Because the cauliflower is like almost like I would say a cream color. And then you got the eggplant, which has a little bit of green. And you got the onions, which are white. Then I'm going to add these yellow peppers. I like to have different colors in there. Then I'm going to put the spinach in there as well. So let's start this up. It starts to smell really, really good. All right. I'm gonna add a little bit of green onion for color. And we're just gonna slice these up. Okay. Add that in there. And see how the color, the green is popping at? All right. Okay, now to add the yellow pepper. Then we're going to be chopping up some spinach and mushrooms. Put that in there. And this is 1 pepper, 1 eggplant, 1 onion, 2 green onions. The spinach, I got 1 bunch. And then the mushrooms, I'm going to do about maybe 10 mushrooms. Because I really like mushrooms. And I like to cut it in bite-sized pieces. So that way you'll get a fork full of every vegetable. Then we're going to add some carrots to that as well. Here. There we go. So the color's going to look really pretty when it all cooks down. There we go. So once again in the pot, we got eggplant, we got Spanish onion, we got green onions, and then I've got yellow peppers in there as well. So I'm turning this up just a little bit, then start adding the spinach. The spinach comes in bunches, so I got that 1 bunch. And I'm going to do is just pick the leaves. Get it going as well. Then we're going to do the mushrooms. I'm going to add the mushrooms last because it doesn't take that. And actually the eggplant doesn't take that long to cook. What I'm going to do is just keep it in there and turn the heat down just a little bit. So that way it can start melting. I love when the eggplant starts melting. There we go. This is going to be very easy to pick the spinach. You just get the stems off and use the leaf. Alright, stems are all off. And that's 1 bunch of spinach. So we're going to add that in there. Rinse these off. Alright, throw it in. So like I said, I'm just layering the vegetables. I'm going to saute these up. Put the temperature up just a little bit. And all this is going to cook down. And see, the neat thing about shepherd's pie is you can use whatever vegetables. Usual vegetables that people use are peas and carrots and onions and peppers. But you can do all different types of vegetables if you like. I'm just doing my version. This is my version of the shepherd's pie. So you see, we got all the spinach cooking, the eggplant, the peppers, the onions. I'm gonna add mushrooms to that, and then carrots. So I got these carrots, they were on sale, so they were starting to expire. So I was going to use them for a salad, but you know what? I'm going to put them in my shepherd's pie as well. So that's going to give it a nice color too, because it's an orange color. There we go. Just add those right in. And these are already cut, which is neat. So this is about 3 cups of carrots. So I'm putting in there as well. So we're going to saute these in as well. You see how pretty that looks? So the colors are orange, yellow, white, green from the spinach, and the cream color. There we go. Okay, now we're going to season it up just a little bit more. So I'm doing 2 pinches of salt. Putting that in there. Put my garlic paste in there. 2 tablespoons. Put that right in there. And I think I might want to add a little bit more spinach to give it some more color. Let's see. I'm gonna put this off to the side. What I'm doing is just picking. I had some fresh basil that's starting to turn a little bit darker than I wanted. But guess what? I'm still using it. So we're going to saute that up in there as well. And that's going to kick this off really good. Maybe I'll add some ginger. I love fresh ginger. So what I'm going to do is just break this up and just put that in there as well. This is fresh basil that I had in the refrigerator. We're going to put that in there too. Let me stir this all up. And it smells awesome. Let me get a few more spinach leaves and then I'm going to add my mushrooms in there. Okay, we got two cups of spinach right here in my hand. You know that's gonna cook down to 1 cup. And the bag already says it's washed, but I just like rewashing it again. And it's got a few stems, which are okay. We're gonna add it right in there. Done. And then I'll just pull the stems off as it. If there's too many of them, then I'll just pull them off as they're in the pot. But it's not that many, and we'll put them in there. There. So now we're going to stir this up because this is going to give it some more color. Alright. That's starting to look really pretty. Alright. We're gonna let that cook down. Let me get some more black pepper. Because my little container's empty. Can you get it in the background? And I like using fresh black peppercorns. Nothing like it. I'm just gonna put them in there. We'll fill this up. You get these containers. I got this at GFS. I love that store. That's where I got the cauliflower and the carrots and the spinach. They had a really good sale. They were clearancing a whole bunch of produce out. So I said, I'll take it. I'm going to cook with that. So there we go. My pepper shaker is ready. So we're going to do about 6 twists of fresh black pepper. There. So let me saute this all together. Smells great. It's looking like the way I wanted to. Let me add add those mushrooms. And we're gonna let this all cook down. So they had these nice mushrooms there too. I got a good deal on these, so we're gonna slice these up. And these are white button mushrooms. They're getting a little dark. That's okay. I'm gonna use them. So we're gonna rinse them off. And put them in that pot too. Nothing like fresh mushrooms, I tell you. And so I'm getting all the dirt off. Alright, this is about 15 mushrooms. So what I'm just going to do is get this out the way. Slice them up and put them in there as well. This is going to give it a great flavor, those mushrooms. I'm just going to water off because we don't want to waste my water. Go. Okay, in we go. Alright, and those are all the vegetables we're going to put in there for my version of shepherd's pie. The potatoes look like they're almost done. That's awesome. Look how pretty this looks, guys. Alright. We're going to let that saute up by itself. I'm going to add a little bit of Mrs. Dash. Bless you, Blackfoot. You all can see the cat decided to come and sit with me. This is not my cat, it's my neighbor's cat. He likes to come visit. Don't you get up there. And sometimes he gets beside himself. So, add a little bit of onion salt. And that's it. So we're going to let that cook. Let's start to cook down. When I say it smells delicious, guys, it smells great. So remember the vegetables we put in here? We got eggplant, onions, green onions. We have spinach, carrots, and mushrooms. All in here. And that's all going to go in that Pyrex dish with the cauliflower at the bottom. And then we're going to put the potatoes on top of that. Look how pretty that looks. You guys see that? Looks really, really pretty. So, let me check my potatoes and see if they're done. Nope, we gotta add some more water to that. We'll let that cook for another 10 minutes. So I'll put the lid on that and let that cook down. Then when everything gets ready, I'll come back and show you how to assemble it. So just hold on. Give me about 20 minutes and we'll be ready to assemble.